Welcome back, Book Fiends, to Wicked Good Books, a channel dedicated to books and all things book adjacent. My name is Lisa, and I am the host of this episode.
See, that was flawless. Welcome back, everyone. I have a very special guest today on this episode of Wicked Good Books, a friend of mine visiting from Philadelphia. We met about 5 years ago. She is my very best friend, lover of books, all things film, decent taste in music, and every once in a while she reads.
You gonna just roast me this entire episode?
I was gonna just keep going, like mean things, like you laugh, but no, that's awful. Occasionally we do buddy reads together. She definitely bailed on the last one and the one before that, but I did finish it, and I think I'm gonna get her to read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue next. I did kind of buy it for her, so I sort of guilted her into reading it. So we'll see how that goes, and maybe we'll get her on here for a little like a live show or something, or some sort of video chat when she goes back home. But yeah, today we're going to do I have a couple of videos we're going to be shooting together while she's visiting. This being one of them. We're going to do a little questionnaire, get to know your Booktuber host. Haven't really done one of these yet for the channel, so I kind of wanted to take some time to do some tag videos and some questionnaire videos like this, so hopefully this will shed some light on me, I guess, and if anyone cares to know that information about me, you're about to learn it. But Lisa's going to ask me some questions. I'm going to do my best to answer them, and yeah, that's what today's episode's going to be about.
I did come up with questions.
From scratch?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I based them off of some other things that I had seen, but I did make the questions up.
Equally terrifying. I didn't know that. I thought she found them online, so this should go real
Do you think
well.
that there's like a Google site that just says like questions to ask a booktuber?
I do.
They're pretty basic.
So, fire away.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Question number 1. It's a tough one. What's your name?
Nick.
What's your
I got
preferred...
so nervous. I almost said something completely different.
What's your preferred name?
Nick. My full name is Nicholas, but my preferred name is Nick.
If you could use a stage name, what would it be?
The Wolf.
Like that would be the author. Like
What am I on stage for?
No, like just like your stage name. Like if you wanted to go by like an alternate name.
Oof.
Like if you wanted to publish your book.
I debated going, I am going to publish my book.
Right. Well, when you publish your book, would you use Nick Kimball or would you want it to be like a stage name?
Like a pen name?
Yeah.
Nah.
Or not even if that's what you wanted to use. If you were to use one, what would it be?
I toyed with N.S. Kimball for a while, because it sounds fancy, but I think in the end I settled on Nicholas Kimball. I think it's going to be my author name, but I go by Nick primarily.
That's not really the answer to the question.
My stage name?
Like a stage, like a fake name. If you could have a fake name that you would put your books under, what would it be?
Like a company name?
Oh my god, no.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
No, like if you didn't want to use your name Nick Kimball because of like you wanted to keep your life more private and you decided to go by like John Smith, what would your name be?
I almost said Tom Cruise. I don't know why. I don't know. I never given that much thought at all. I guess I would either go like one of my D&D names, like that I've had from my characters, or it would just be like.
That'd be cool though.
Like Castel Airgast?
Yeah, like that would be cool.
Like Castel.
Okay.
Or the Wolf.
Okay, that answers the question. Good, it's good enough. Jesus. If you could make me read one book.
I've been trying.
But if you deathbed, you have to read this one book for me. Which book would it be?
Oh, that's so easy. So, Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Many who subscribe to this channel or know me personally know that the Stormlight Archive is my favorite series of all time. I try hard not to force it down people's throats, but I really enjoy it, and I want you to read it someday. The graphic audio form is, in my opinion, the best way to read it, or listen to it. That would be on your deathbed, though. It's a long book. I don't know how much time.
I mean,
you
I
got.
wouldn't be actually dying. I'm just saying, if you could make me read one book,
I
what would it
wasn't
be?
sure how much time you had, so.
Not that slow of a reader.
No, we'll go with that one.
We're gonna go with that one.
Yes, Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. That's one of my favorite book series of all time. Book 4 comes out in November. I'm super excited about that one, but I always try to get my friends to read that one in any form, whether it be audiobook, graphic audio, or physical copy. But that would be on your deathbed what I would bring to you. I would even read it to you.
Over Wheel of Time?
That would be tough, because I feel like you can enjoy individually each book in Stolen Archive, despite it's a continuous story. You can still enjoy the arc, whereas Wheel of Time, like once you start it, you have to know how it ends, and it's 14 books. So, like I said, I don't know how much time you have on your deathbed, but I don't think we'll be able to get through 14 books.
Probably not. What book character out of any book that you've ever read do you relate to the most?
Relate to like personal experiences, or like look up to them?
No, like what character have you been reading it and being like, wow, this sounds like me?
There's so many good ones. There's some ones I wish I could relate to. Like I wish I was more like Sirius Black. That would be one, but I haven't gone to prison.
Well, he technically didn't do anything wrong, technically.
Technically, that would be the case for me. I would go to jail for something I didn't do. Framed for murdering my best friends, which would be you. So I feel like that would be not the best character to want to be as, but because then you'd be dead in a scenario.
Thanks. I'm already on my deathbed.
You're on your deathbed, and I'm framed for the murder of you. Okay. Alan Clay from Hologram for the King. It's a David Eggers novel. Made a movie out of it too. Tom Hanks plays the main character, Alan. That's a character I really relate to. It's a character that like is down on his luck, trying to make a new career at an older age, and he has a kid that he's trying to provide for his daughter. He's trying to put his daughter through school, and he's doing this like last-ditch effort to be career happy and be a good dad and deal with all those the problems that come with that. And this is something about that really spoke to me, both the movie and the book. It's actually in my top 25, so that would be one. I always like to joke with my wife and say that I relate to Howl from Howl's Moving Castle, because he's like so emotionally broken and split, where like during the day he's chipper and energetic and lively and has all this energy and all these ideas, and then at night it's like the weight of the world just brings him down and he just kind of wallows in it. And I feel like lately that's me, especially this year. But that one's more depressing, so we won't go with
This is
that
a really depressing episode. I'm on my deathbed, I'm dying. You have a depressing character relation.
That's true. All right. I would also, there's a lot of characters that I relate to, and I try not to always see myself in the characters that I'm reading, because I like to enjoy who they are as characters first, and then if I have something I can relate to or I can transpose myself into, I like doing that as well. Kaladin Stormblessed from Way of Kings is a character that I, especially dealing with mental health issues, and something that in that book specifically that he goes through, I can relate to a lot. And that's, I think, between Kaladin and Alan Clay from Hologram for the King, which are two extremely different characters, but yeah, those two.
Okay. What character from any of the books that you have read would you say I am most like?
I should have known that you were going to ask that question. Well, the easy answer here is Lisbeth Salander, but I think this is...
wish. Oh God, I
wish. but pretty close. Badass female, super talented, able to adapt, loves cold cases, introverted, but can be social when need be. That's basically you in a nutshell. All she's missing is the mohawk and black hair, which we tried to do this weekend, didn't we?
We did try to do that.
We did that. Otherwise, if not Lisbeth... Oh, this one's super easy. This is super. I can go to my phone. Hermione Granger.
I was waiting for it, but I knew. When writing this question out, I was like, he's gonna either say Hermione or Lisbeth. And as much as I would love to be Lisbeth Salander, I'm not that cool.
I mean, pretty close. I think in some aspects, I have a little Mikkel and you get a little Lisbeth. But I don't have nearly as many nice jeans or sweaters. So.
Is that the gift that you want?
Anyway, so Hermione Granger for sure, for so many different reasons. We always joke about how she is the Hermione to my Harry. I think those two characters, I would add Harry to my list as well as a character that I definitely related to. Not so much in the earlier books, because I feel like I had a pretty decent childhood. Even my early teen years were pretty good. But hitting that adolescent, post-puberty stage, all that Harryness, that's I can relate to that a lot.
I'm not as smart as Hermione. Hermione's like wicked book smart, and I'm just like street smart.
You're pretty book smart.
Not like book.
You graduated. Our GPAs were very close.
They were very close, but that's because I enjoyed the subject.
It's true. But she enjoys her subject.
I wouldn't pick up Hogwarts history.
History.
Okay, these are pretty easy. What's your favorite color?
Indigo.
What's your favorite movie?
The Fifth Element. Oh, it's over there now. The Fifth Element.
What's your favorite food?
Oh God, we've been eating it like all weekend. We've been eating Chinese food. We've been eating carbs galore, pasta, pizza. Favorite food?
Like deathbed meal.
Deathbed meal for me would just be like really just dynamite sushi.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that your wife gave me the same face that I just gave.
Dynamite sushi or like just like okay.
Like not
New York style pizza, just a Sicilian style pizza. Down here in Florida, you can't get Sicilian style. It's just like not the same.
Okay.
What would your deathbed food be?
Eggplant parm.
Last time I tried to order a chicken parm down here, it didn't go well for me, so I cut that out.
Because it's chicken parm, it's not eggplant parm. Eggplant parm with a side of penne. Just on my deathbed.
Thought about this way too much.
On my deathbed, just bring me a plate of eggplant parm and Wheel of Time.
In real time.
Okay. And last but not least, why am I so much cooler than you?
That's so much easier. Because you have your youth still.
Fair.
But in reality, you know all the hip things. You teach me all the lingo that the kids speak these days and keep me young. So that's... I keep you safe, you keep me young. That's like what Amy and her sister always say to each other. I feel like that's relevant for us too.
Yeah. I would say that's pretty...
How else would I know what Taylor Swift and Harry Styles are up to
and
2020?
How would I know about any of these books?
You could subscribe to the channel. Hey.
Anyway.
What else you got?
That was pretty much it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions you want to ask me?
Yeah.
Since I'm here?
Think hard about this one, because this is a booktube channel dedicated to books and all that book adjacent.
Yeah.
I don't sound like that also. What is your favorite book of all time?
My favorite book of all time?
If you need a minute, it's a big question.
I do need a minute. Actually, I think I have it on my phone. Back when we used to make lists,
I still make lists.
We would be like, "What's the? All right, we need a list of everything." I have like a list of my favorite movies. I think we did one that was like our favorite movie scenes.
We did. I had that one also, top 50.
This list is old. I'm gonna say The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is my number one favorite book. For a really long time, when I was reading young adult, teen, or not even young adult anymore, it was teen novels.
It's Twilight, wasn't it?
No.
No? Oh.
No. It's the only thing I had in black. For a really long time, it was Looking for Alaska, and I will say, Looking for Alaska, even to this day, is a fantastic book. It was very well written. The Hulu show just came out, I think, in the fall, and I was kind of disappointed in it. I think it was the casting that really really threw it off. And I was really disappointed in that, but overall that book was just really good. At the time, Looking for Alaska is written by John Green, and at the time, that was, I'm pretty sure that was his first novel that he had written, but everybody was obsessed with The Fault in Our Stars, which is also a very good book, but it was just so big, and, everybody was talking about it, and I had read all of his novels when I was reading all of them at the time, and when I was, in high school still, and Looking for Alaska was definitely my favorite, and that was my favorite book for a really long time, and then I think you told me to read Dragon Tattoo.
More than likely.
My sister had it and she had read it, so I actually borrowed her book, but I remember talking to you, and it took me so long to get through the first chapter.
It's a chewy read in the beginning.
Yeah, just the prologue, because I remember I read that, I read the first 10 pages at least 10 times, over the course of a year, and I couldn't do it to the point I actually skipped the prologue and read the book, and then went back and read the prologue.
It's a phenomenal book. It's definitely a chewy read. I like it better than the other two in the series. I enjoyed them, but not as much. I like Cold Cases, and book 2, I believe, is The Girl Who Played with Fire, and then the second one's The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. Well, all of these by Stieg Larsson. I just didn't enjoy them as much as the first one. But the U.S. version of the film adaptation is awesome, and I wish that they would continue with those actors and that cast and director. With Looking for Alaska, is that the one with Carol Delevingne?
No, that's Paper Towns.
No, that's close.
Yeah.
My young adult romance is not up to date, but that is why we are friends and why you're so much cooler than me. Okay, next question. Also a tough one, so you might need a minute to think about this one. What is the last book, or rather the first book? No, I'm sorry. Start that, reverse that. What's the first book you read in your life that affected you on a much deeper level than school assignment reading, a suggestion from a friend, something you saw in the library, a film adaptation book, or a popular piece of fiction, a book that you found on your own that moved you in some way, that changed you as a person, helped shape who you became today? No pressure.
This is really going to show my age.
Oh, God.
It's not bad, but it's another, like, teen book. I would say it was 13 Reasons Why.
Okay.
I think that was written really well, and I wasn't a huge fan. Again, I was not a huge fan of the Netflix adaptation, but I remember reading that in high school, and it wasn't a school assignment or anything like that. I had just picked it up and I had read it, and like it was easier for me to read. Like it was interesting and it was well written, and I remember reading it. And at the time, I was not a big reader in high school, and I used to hate doing the summer reading projects because they were so not interesting books to read that I would absolutely hate doing it. I would put it off, and it actually made me dislike reading, and I would never want to read on my own time. And then once I realized that I could actually pick books to read on the side that actually interest me, and I comprehended what was actually happening in the book because I was interested in it, made me want to read more, and that's why I read now. So I would actually say that it's probably there might be a different book, but off the top of my head, I would say 13 Reasons.
Remember, so I see that's
13 Reasons Why.
And I don't think there's a second season to that show. Is there a second book?
No.
So they just made it off their own story?
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Two-parter. Favorite Harry Potter book and or movie, and what is your house? I already know what your house is, but they don't. I think it's a great question to ask because it really kind of...
I wish that there was like a timer thing where you'd be like, what house do you think I am before I say it? Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite Harry Potter book and my favorite Harry Potter movie. Definitely my favorite. And house is Slytherin.
You're Gryffindor. Like Griffin, Slytherin.
Yes, I am, in the combo test, I am Gryffindor and Slytherin.
What is the combination of those two? It's like something like Ravenclaw, Ravenpuff, or Huffleclaw.
Grifferin?
Glypherin? Just a sound.
No, I think it's like Slytherin.
Slytherin. I've never heard anyone mix those two before, which is super interesting. Why Harry Potter? We actually were just talking about this, but why Harry Potter 3?
What, like you, I love Sirius Black, so the bringing him into it. I also just really enjoyed, it felt darker than the other ones. Like that's when you could tell that the series was starting to take that darker shift towards what was happening in each one. And I think that I enjoy darker novels. I enjoy dark things. So that piqued my interest. Not like the first two didn't, but that one definitely was like, I like where this is going. And I think I liked the themes of that book overall. I think that it gave the characters more depth to the characters. It brought in new characters that we came to know and love. And I just think that it was overall, like, even written wise, like the language of it, I think it like obviously she grew.
There was definitely a shift in that book. I think I love that book too. 3 and 5, I teeter between the two of those. But I do love 3 because I think it's the last book before things started to change. Book 4 technically is that book, but book 4 largely at the end, the beginning and the end, sort of like that's when Voldemort is back, and that's when like the main story takes place. The third one was like this little sliver universe, like the last mini story before everything took off, and I think I like that one the best because of that. I always go back to that film, either 3 or 5. I wish that the 5th film was as good as the 5th book, but Well, thank you so much for being on the channel today. Thank you for asking those questions and helping them get to know me and get to know you more. I'm sure this will not be the only time you are on my channel. We work together quite often. We write together quite often. We used to film together quite often. Now we live in different states, so that's become a little complicated, but we're working on remedying that solution. So, but for now, thank you so much, Lisa, for coming. I hope you had fun.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me crash at your house for the week.
Yeah, right. Anytime you want. It's like having the au pair at the house to watch my 2 kids, so it's perfect. But
perfectly splendid.
Exactly. Hope everyone's staying safe. I hope you all had time to go out and vote safely. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. You gotta say stay wicked.
Oh, stay wicked.